Heterosexuals of Reddit, what is a question you have for the LGBTQ plus community? Is there ever a big queer cookout called the LGBTQ? For those who were questioning or came out in close relationships, what kind of support did you need/look for? Edit to expound from just romantic to any close relationships. Seriously, what is the Q for? I'm not being sarcastic or trolling, I don't get the distinction. Do some bisexuals who want to have kids tend to favor relationships with the opposite sex because it makes it just so much easier? Or is this a I would asterisk never asterisk thing? I am a healthcare provider, and when going through your social history, if you are married or in a long-term relationship, and you tell me you have a partner, is that for my comfort, or do you really prefer referring to them as your partner? I'd like to ask the other LGBTQ plus people when they received their copy of the gay agenda, and when I can expect to receive mine. At work I am in a position where people under me sometimes tell me deeply personal things. Not a counselor or HR. Sometimes they may not directly report to me, but I've mentored them in some way so they still come to me. If a person comes out to me as gay or trans, I straight up don't care, in the sense that, if I'm not sleeping with you, your sexual life/identity is none of my business, and it doesn't affect my opinion of or relationship with you. But I can tell when someone tells me about themselves that it's often a big deal to them to say it. I definitely sometimes get the feeling they're afraid they might be judged. So what's a correct way for me to respond? I don't want to give the impression that I don't care about them as a human being, it's just that, dude, I don't care. Trans men. My brother recently came out as trans. Having thought of him most of my life as my sister, and not my brother, obviously required a shift in thinking on my part. I was his best man when he was still figuring himself out, and identified as a gay woman, and married his female partner of 10 years, which I was honored to do. I love and respect him, and we've gotten pretty close over the past decade or so, but I wasn't sure how to talk at first. Not really sure what to do. I started addressing him the way I would any of my other guy friends. For example, I'll text him a video I know he'll like with a dude, check this out, or check up with a hey man, how's things? Am I doing it right? I want to make sure I respect his identity, but I don't want that sense of family connection to be lost either. My 13 son has confided in me that he is attracted to other boys. He has his first semi-real partner. I say semi-real because he is 13, not because of the gender of the partner. His mother is not a part of his life. After all the backstory, my question is, what can I do to help him, and how can I be the most supportive? I have reassured and validated him. I have also told him how much I love him, regardless of anything. I have made sure to explain to him that he is amazing, and there is nothing wrong with the way he feels. Thanks in advance, everyone. Edit. Thank you to everyone for the advice and awards. My son is an amazing boy, and I am excited for his journey through life. I have several new resources now. You all are great. As a straight person, am I allowed to use the Q word? I grew up in the 80s, and it was considered a slur, as bad as the F word, and for that reason I feel weird using it. But it seems like it's been reclaimed, and is an umbrella term, as someone said on the thread already. Should I use it in that sense as well to respect someone's term for themselves, or is it a word straights should still consider off limits? Thank you. What's the plus? How much do you pay for your LGBTQ plus subscription? How do you feel now that commercials and media are more representative of more races, genders, orientations, etc.? Do you notice it? Does it make you feel good, bad, indifferent? If a bi person ends up with a straight person, is that looked down upon in the community? I'm a female, and I've dated bi guys before, but I'm completely straight, and I've had a couple of people tell me that that's wrong of me that only 2 bi people can date, and that me being straight means that I'm stealing away someone from the LGBTQ plus community. One of my best friends, and old roommate, I got a job somewhere else, is gay, and told me he didn't like a lot of toxicity some people bring to the LGBTQ plus community. Is this something anyone else has experienced? I've never experienced it, but I'm hetero, so maybe that's why. What does it mean when I've dated girls, been sexually active with girls, but sometimes when I'm beating to the hub I look at the guy's dick instead of the girl? I braced myself for the worst when I came here, but this is surprisingly civilized. How you doing? What's your favorite hobby? How do you like your eggs? How would you feel about straight friends going with you to something like Pride? I had a friend who had recently come out, and they very much so didn't want us to come. We'd already had plans to go with different friends, because they thought we, the two straight friends, would be intruding. We just wanted to go, have a good time, and support our friends. But the newly out friend was very much against it, so we ended up just not going, even though we would have been with a different group. It just made me feel kind of shitty, but I also don't want to going into someone's safe space. As an ally, am I intruding? I don't want to overstep. Is LGBTQ plus the same as Paramount plus, ESPN plus, or Disney plus? Do you ever meet a homosexual and go home with him, only to discover that you're both interested in penetrating or in being penetrated? Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? What can us straight guys do to help out individuals, or the community as a whole? As a teacher, how can I be better? Is there anything I should avoid that might not be so obvious? Deleted. Can we cuddle more? When someone gives their pronouns as, say, she/they, how does that work in practice? Do ace parades take place? If yes, then which country in the world would I most likely find one? I wish to take part in one just because I wanna meet other race people face to face. I'm not against having sexual relations with men as a man, not penetrating, just sort of oral. I prefer women and being in relationships with them. Am I bisexual? Or is that just bi-curious? Where do you draw that line? Between curiosity and just accepting it? What is some things you should and should not say to a transitioning person to comfort them? Been happening a lot in some of my Discord servers. You folks alright? Some people are really homophobic and shitty, so I hope you're all surrounded by a good group of supportive people. What are the most supportive ways non-LGBTQ people can be allies? Why are you gay? I have a question, but I doubt I will get a straight answer. You okay? When two gay men have sex, how do they know whose penis will open up to accept the other person's penis? I would really like to hear the opinions of trans people about the current dialogue concerning participation in sports. I hear a lot from both sides, but the voices of those whom it affects most are conspicuously absent. It seems a nuanced topic, and I'd like to know how the community actually feels about it. I don't have a question. Just keep being you. Be happy with who you are. Love it, and love those you choose to. You have support, even from those who are not part of your group. So in the case of Elliot Page, when I talk about movies that he has been in the past, if I'm talking about a character, for example Juno, is it bad if I say her? I was talking about it once and it was just getting very confusing. Because Juno was a lady, and at the time Elliot presented as a lady, but is now out as a man. So basically I don't want to be an ass. Also, what are the surgeries like? Like I wanna Google and see how things turn out, but that feels weird and inappropriate. Is it weird that I am romantically attracted to all genders, but not sexually? Also, how do I tell my friends that they are attractive to me without it getting awkward? Thank you. There aren't enough posts here. I want to answer more questions! I have characters that I want to write romance stories about. However, I'm straight, and since that's my preference, my characters are straight too. I have nothing against the LGBTQ plus community, but I also don't live or experience that life enough to accurately write a character that goes through the unfortunate discrimination and scenarios. Is it discriminatory if I only write about straight relationships? I feel like every show and story is trying to be inclusive nowadays, which is amazing, but I'm not here to impress anyone, and just wanna write what makes me happy.